Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector. This is episode number 259. And today I've got in a nice stack here of books that I got from Dr. Skull on off of his eBay store. I think everything was 99 cents. They came in at about $1.36 a piece with shipping. We're just going to go ahead and get started, I guess. Dennis the Menace, number 96 from 1968. So pretty cool. All of these were in really decent shape for how old they are. They're all complete and just good stuff. Just good stuff. So, and then we have Bugs Bunny, number 108 from 1966. This is the first appearance of Honey Bunny in this story. It does have, somebody scribbled all over the front of this cover, or at least up here, which is weird. I don't know why they would want to do that, but they did. So here's Honey Bunny, her first appearance. And so you got the first appearance of Honey Bunny. Everything else in here were reprints from former issues, except for this first one that introduced Honey Bunny. Her dad is a sheriff. That's him there. And looks like fun stuff. It's a short story, but and then, like I said, everything else was in this story were reprints from former issues, according to Grand Comics database. So I hope everybody out there is having a good day. And please like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Then we have Radio Shack presents Archie and the History of Electronics. Now, I was familiar with like the Whiz Kids giveaways and the DC Comics one with Superman. I wasn't aware there was an Archie one, so I went ahead and grabbed this. It's from 1990, and it's by Mike Pilowski, Howard Bender, and John D'Agostino. And just typical Archie stuff, basically, and typical Radio Shack. They go to a science fair and learn somewhat about the history of electronics, and so fun. It's a neat little giveaway. Like I said, I wasn't aware there was an Archie one, and this is my favorite probably of all of these. I don't know if it'll be my favorite read or not, but it's just to have it. I got this for 99 cents. It's a Dell Giant Tarzan's Jungle Annual number 7. It's the last issue of that particular series of the annual. And just, typical kind of Tarzan stuff. Nothing really jumped out at me art-wise. But there was one thing in here I wanted to show you. Just got to find it here. Got some nature stuff in the middle, talking about animals in Africa and things like that. There's one cutout in here where you're supposed to, there it is. You're supposed to basically rip this page out. And this is complete. A lot of times you'll get the Dell Annuals or Dell Giants, and sometimes they won't be complete because a lot of them have stuff like this in them, where you're supposed to cut this out. It's got this little stand at the bottom, so you can fold these around. You're supposed to cut it out, paste on cardboard, cut it out, and then you cut out these figures too, so you can make it, and then you put them here, like it shows in this little drawing. So that it looks like they're riding the giant bird. So I thought that was kind of cool. I like the activity pages in the old Dell Giants. I think they came up with some pretty creative stuff. As you can see, this is tan pretty bad. This back cover. Now that I'm holding it up to the light like this, I can actually see it's got some holes in it that I didn't notice before. But I'm always curious on how these kind of damage happens because of the it's basically a rip. You can see the edges of the holes are still there. It's just, you know, it's like somebody scratched it with a fingernail or something. I don't know, but still fun to have. And then we got Dennis the Menace number 84 from 1977. And Dennis the Menace Big Bonus Series number 187 from 1979. So this cover, this is a complete comic. But you know, at some point the bonus series, you know, they used to have giant sized issues and have extra stories and things in them. At some point, you know, it just became a regular comic, but they kept the name for some reason. And in this one, they have this Pirates and Treasures Inside banner at the top, like that's something special, but that's just the contents of the stories that are in there. There's nothing extra about it. So it's a little misleading on the cover. Bugs Bunny number 33 from 1953. Got Bugs presiding over a turtle race there at the beginning. And this first main story, got some great art in it. Look at this. It's called The Flea-Sized Elephant. But for a Bugs Bunny story, this is fantastic art. Also has Sylvester and Porky Pig in it. So I'm looking forward to reading that, see if the story lives up to the excellent art that's on it. And then the second story just kind of goes back. It has more of the kind of traditional Bugs Bunny art from comic books, I would say. Nothing wrong with it. It's just the art on this first story was just quite amazing to find in a funny animal comic. Good stuff. And let's see, next up we've got Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica. This is number 246. Dan DiCarlo did the cover art and a lot of the work on the inside. And then we have a whole pile of Sergeant Rock. I actually wasn't going to buy as much from him as I was going to, because I was saving up for the Comics Den sale. And then, of course, yeah, he posted a bunch of Sergeant Rocks, which I don't have a whole lot of, so I went ahead and grabbed those. So this is 368 from 1982. It's the 30th anniversary of the first appearance of Sergeant Rock. And this is Our Army at War, number 301. This was the last issue of Our Army at War before they changed the title to Sergeant Rock. And what surprised me was going through these Sergeant Rocks was that it remained an anthology title. Our Army at War always, it had Sergeant Rock as the main feature, and then they always had, various backups and stuff. And that continued with the Sergeant Rock series, and I didn't realize that. I guess I had never read I know I've read some Sergeant Rock annuals and specials and things, but I guess I've never read a regular issue of Sergeant Rock before. This is number 308 from 1977. Number 318 from 78. And of course, you got these great Joe Kubert covers. He was the editor, so he pretty much had control of all the contents, and he kept it as an anthology series. There's backups in every one of these that, it doesn't, it never mentions it on the cover that there's backup stories. They never talk about it. This is 322 from 1978. Number 333. And this one actually has a cameo appearance by Bob Hope, but it's not in the Sergeant Rock story. You got as long as we're opening this one, we'll just go through it. We got Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. And a lot of times these have, most of the stories and art are by Bob Kanigher and Frank Redondo. And Joe Kubert was just the editor, other than the cover art. Sometimes he would work on a backup story. Let's see if I can get to that Bob Hope cameo. Here it is. So this is just like a one-page humor page called Close Encounter, where a saucer lands, but it's a galactic USO tour. So you got all these alien dancers coming out when the soldiers are ready for war, and then you got like an alien Bob Hope here. So I thought that was kind of funny. It wasn't expecting to see that in there. And then you've got a backup that's by Kanigher and LH called The Lieutenant, and it's a war story. Most of the backup stories have some kind of war motif to them, but some of them are science fiction, some of them are westerns, some of them are Civil War era. Here's number 341 from 1980, 351 from 1981, 353 from 1981, and 354 from 1981. This one's got and the next several issues as well have Tim Truman stories in them. So you got the Sergeant Rock story as the main feature, of course. Oh, and there's a Plastic Man Twinkies ad. I don't know if I've seen the Plastic Man one before. That's neat. And just great art in these too. Oh, that maybe that is the Tim Truman story. Wait a minute. I missed the beginning of it. Here it is. So, yep, Tim Truman did everything on this. He did the story, the art, the lettering, and it's a sci-fi story. It's got basically a robotic GI and an alien, and it only lasts a few pages, but there it is. And then they got all these other backups as well. So I don't know if Joe Kubert was used in like his art school to fill out the remainder of these issues or what. Here's number 357, 1981. But I thought it was cool that they weren't just Sergeant Rock stories. I'm looking forward to the Sergeant Rock stories, but I feel like everything else is in here as a bonus, especially the Tim Truman stories. Those will be fun to look at. 358 from 1981. 360 from 1982. 361 from 1982. And like I say, I think all of these have some Tim Truman in them. But this one also has some Tim Truman. And this one's got a Western. There it is. So you got Indians, you know, and it's Tim Truman art, so it's very much like you know, reminiscent of his scout work. And I don't see the artist actually credited anywhere on here, but I'm pretty sure that's. I got his name from somewhere, so I probably looked it up on Grand Comics database. And then you got some Tom. Here's a Tom Mandrake science fiction story in the back. Like I said, they're all war stories, but they're all from different time periods. Here's yeah, ancient Japan or something, samurai. So kind of cool. I wasn't expecting, yeah, the Sergeant Rock series to be an anthology. I didn't realize that it kept its status as an anthology after it became the Sergeant Rock title. So 363 from 1982, 365 from 1982, 366. And this one is Sergeant Rock Special number 1 from 1988. So they rebooted the Sergeant Rock series as a reprint series. So this is a new cover by Joe Kubert and Adam Kubert. And it's got Sergeant Rock and Viking Prince on the cover, and the inside it represents a story where Sergeant Rock and Viking Prince actually team up. So that's different. And I think these were originally from an old Our Army at War issues. The only new thing in the contents, it looks like it's got 4 parts. So it was basically a serial in Our Army at War where they teamed up. And then it has an article, you know, about that and the reboot and stuff here by Joe Kubert. And then there's a backup by Bob Haney and Neil Adams. That's a sci-fi story. So still an anthology title, even when it became a reprint series. So that's cool. Cool stuff in there, even though it's a reprint. And then, let's see, lastly, we have Treasure Chest. Another issue of Treasure Chest. I'm picking these up when I come because they look interesting. Still haven't read one yet. This is volume 24, number 1. It's from 1968, I guess. So you got Sock Jones in the Deep Six mystery. Looks like he's an inventor. He's got all these. He's either an inventor or he works at Futuronics Inc. So he has all these inventions. So probably a Tom Swift type where he can invent things. That's a new story, new series that starts in this issue. And you got Soldiers of the Cross, story of the chaplains at war. A humor page. And then there's an article about how old comics are worth money. And something called Randy, which is a 1-page strip, and Chuck White, which seems to be the ongoing character for this series. Some more humorous pages. It's all Greek to you. Talk about things that originated from Greek culture, I guess, like the alphabet and stuff. I got a puzzle page, and then this back talk thing is like a letters page, and the inside of the covers. So cool. It's just they look like fun. So some cool stuff in there. A lot of Sergeant Rocks. I have some more Sergeant Rocks coming. I just paid for them yesterday, so they are will be on their way shortly. I've got a whole other box coming from Dr. Skull that's nothing but Sergeant Rocks, and I believe some of them that are in there I already have. So some of those will end up in a future sale, but the ones here, these are all new to me, so I get to keep all of these. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. We'll be taking a look at some more books that I read tomorrow, including GI Combat #1, the new Green Lantern series, the current one, an interesting Fantastic Four book that represents some Jack Kirby and Stan Lee art in a new way. And so join me for that tomorrow. And thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day.